Hello everyone. So let us talk about this lead code problem. Replace elements with greatest element on right side. Okay, so you are given an array. Replace every element in that array with the greatest element among the elements to its right, and replace the last element with minus 1. Okay, so if you consider this array 17, 18, 5, 4, 6, and 1, this array, this element will be replaced by greatest element from here, which is 18. Then 18 will be replaced by the greatest element from here, which is 6. Then 5 will be replaced by the greatest element from here, which is again 6. Then 4 will be replaced by the greatest element, which is again 6. 1 will be replaced by the greatest element towards the right. Sorry, 6 will be replaced by the greatest element towards the right, which is 1. Okay, and the last element will be minus 1. So 1 will become minus 1 over here. Okay, so let us just look at the approach. So we had in the array, we had 17, 18, uh, then we had 5, 4, 6, 1. Okay, so we had 5, 4, 6, and 1. Okay, so basically, what we do is in this nums array, we'll run a for loop. When we come to this position, we'll find all the elements which are greater from the next element to the end. Okay, and then we replace it. When we come to this position 18, we'll find all the elements that are greater in this situation from 5 to 1. Then we come to 5, we'll find all the elements that are greater from the remaining elements. When we come to 6, similarly, we'll do this. And for 1, we'll just replace it with the minus 1, which is the assuming that this is the last element. Okay, so this is one solution. Okay, and there is another way of solving this. Okay, so what we can do is we can start from the over here. What we are trying to find, we are trying to find all the elements that are greatest on the right hand side, right? Instead of traversing the array from left hand side to the right hand side, what we can do is we can traverse the array from the left hand side. Okay, so we come over here on this position 1. We know that this is 1. Okay, over here this is 1, and since this is the last element, we have to compare it with minus 1. Okay, so we figure out that this is going to be minus 1 over here. Okay, then we come to the next element 6 over here, and then just check which is the maximum element over here, which is over here 1. Then we come to the next element. Okay, because we are traversing it from right hand side to the left hand side, and then from this we check which is the maximum element over here. Okay, which is 6, and we only have to consider the next element over here 6. Why? Because we already know that 6 is going to be the maximum element. Okay, so we replace this with 6. Now we come to the next element 5, and then we check which is the maximum element from here 4, 6, and 1, which is basically 6. So we'll have a max variable or something like that which will keep track of all the maximum values. Okay, so we said okay, on this position itself max is 6, so we'll just write 6 over here. Then we come to this 18th position over here, and then we again check which is the maximum element from this. Still 6 is the maximum element. Okay, so we write 6 over here. Then we come to this position, this. But now what has happened is, because of this 18, the value of max has now changed to 18. Okay, so on this position, we just replace the maximum element here, which is 18. So we get 18, 6, 6, 6, 1, and minus 1 as our answer, which is this. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just try to write both the solutions, the long form as well as the short form. just for practicing this solution, the problem, and then writing code. So I'll just say long form, wherein I'll be just finding the maximum value from the left hand side to the right hand side. Okay. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to run a for loop. Okay. Let I equal to 0, I less than nums dot length I plus plus. Sorry, we have array here. Okay. For before that, what I'll do is I'll just store the variable of sorry, I'll store the value of the length of the array in a variable called as length. So array dot length, so that I don't have to calculate it every time. Okay. And what I'll say is array of I is equal to greatest element. In what? In the array, and my position will be from I plus 1. I can also pass the length over here so that I don't have to calculate it again and again. Okay, and I plus 1. Alright, so on the ith position, what do I want to get? I want to get I want to get the the greatest element from I plus 1th position to the length position. Okay, let me write the function here so that it becomes easier to understand. So we say greatest element, we have the array which will be an array of number, then we'll have length which is going to be a number, and then we have a start index. I'll just call it start index, which is going to be a number, and this function should return a number. Okay, all right. So I'll do the same thing. What I'll do is, let's say max be equal to uh, 0. Okay, so we'll say for let I equal to start I less than length I plus plus max equal to math dot max, because we want to find a maximum in the greatest, the remaining elements. So I have to find a maximum from this array. So what I'll do is I'll just store the maximum value over here. So maximum will be max comma array of I, and then I'll return maximum value over here. Okay. So I'm running a for loop and I'm going to update every element over here with the greatest element from the right. That is why I'm calling I plus 1 over here. And in this greatest element function, I'm finding the maximum from the given range. Okay. Okay. When it comes to the last element, I'll have to just say -1 instead of 1. So for the last element, it will directly return -1. Okay. And let's just return array over here because that is what we have modified. Let's run this program and see how it works. Okay, so we got acceptance on the test cases. Let's submit it. Okay, so we got an acceptance. Now let's go and write another solution that is more uh, optimized and is better on the time complexity, because we are going to just run one for loop. So the time complexity is going to be O of n. Okay, so let me just reset this editor. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this second solution wherein I'll traverse from right to left and then find a maximum element and then replace it. Okay, let's just write the code. So basically I'll be running a for loop from array dot length -1 I greater than equal to 0 I minus minus. Okay, so I'll be on the last element over here. And what I can say is I'll I can store -1 as max element. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to find which is the maximum element from this one and -1 because that maximum element I'll be using it with the next element over here when we traverse from right to left. But before that, I need to update my maximum value. So what I'll say is array of I is going to be equal to maximum. Okay. And new maximum is going to be first I'll have to store the new maximum value over here. So let new max equal to array of I. So I've stored one because I want to find a maximum. Okay. New max or new element I can say new element. Okay. And then I want to store this value first. Then I want to replace this element with the maximum element over here. So currently it is -1 because I am over here on the last element. And then I need to replace my maximum value. So I can say max is equal to math.max, my maximum element with the new element. Okay. So, and then we'll say return array. Okay. So let's just go through this code again. Initially, first I'll be traversing from right to left. So from this position, then in the next iteration this. All right. Initially, I want the value to be -1. So let's assume that -1 is over here, just outside the array. When I come to this position, I want to replace it with the max position, max value. So array of I is going to be my max value. So 1 will become -1. But before that, I want to check whether this number that I'm going to replace, is it maximum as compared to the actual maximum value. That is why I'm storing this. It's kind of a temporary variable in which the element that I am currently on, I'm storing it in the new element over here. Then this element, I'm replacing it with the maximum value, which is currently -1. And then what I'm doing is I'm trying to say, okay, from this element and whatever was the maximum, which is the maximum. So I'm comparing this maximum with new element. And then I'm storing it in my max value. Then I come to the next iteration. I come over here on 6. That time at 6, I'll just store this value in my new element variable over here. And then I'll replace this value with the maximum value. So what is the maximum value now? Maximum value now is 1. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll replace this maximum array of I equal to maximum. So now this will become 1. And then I'll check whether 6 and your 1, which is the maximum from this two. So 6 is the maximum. Okay. So in the next iteration, my maximum will be 6. So over here, 4 will be replaced with 6. Over here, 5 will be replaced with 6. Then 18 will be replaced with 6. And 17 will be replaced with 18. Okay. So let's just run this. Okay. Let's submit it. Let's see if we get an error. Okay, so we got an acceptance. So even this solution has worked.